everyone. Welcome to another episode of Inspirational Pills. Last time we spoke about courage to be seen, and it was mostly about visibility. Normally, I would have moved over to like another topic, but I thought of the fact that if I just talk about being visible without talking about the value and stressing the point on what are you visible about, a lot of people might get the wrong impression and it might just feel like visibility is about being loud and we're out there trying to be loud. So that's why today I decided that I'll just go through the steps and strategies you know and talk more about the message you actually want to put out there when you become visible. So today's topic is on visible and valued, practical steps to step into the spotlight as a leader. So like I stressed this during the last meeting, that visibility is not about being loud. It's not about just being seen and, oh, I'm an influencer and all that. No, it's more about the impact. What value are you bringing? What impact are you going to make in the society? What's your story going to do to someone's life? So visibility is about you trying to help someone out there. Actually, I feel like visibility is more like you helping someone not to go through all the rigors that you had to go through to get to where you are. So you're visible and you're trying to give voice to your experience and the things that you've learned. So that's what visibility is all about, like making an impact. It's not about being loud. So when you are visible, your influence actually grows beyond, it's not about your title. It's not the title that makes you visible, like, oh, I'm Dr. This, engineer that, and all that. What actually helps you is the story, the value that you bring. And when you start showing up, opportunities start finding you, and you also inspire others to rise up. And when we talked about imposter syndrome, we actually talked about this invisible leader syndrome, where you think you're not good enough, or you don't want to be noticed, or you think that you don't have anything to add to the table, you don't have anything to bring to the table, rather. You or you think that it's a sign of arrogance if you're out there, or you keep procrastinating, like, oh, when I'm confident enough, I'll show up. You have to show up where you are right now. You don't have to wait till you're confident for you to show up. Your work doesn't speak unless you give it a voice. So even if there's something that you're doing and you notice that, oh, if only people knew about this would have made their life easier. you're if you don't speak up, you're not helping. So silence doesn't protect you, it just hides your intelligence. So the first step I'll talk about today is knowing your value, because I can't hammer that enough. Like, you first of all have to know your value. And I'm going to give you the practical steps on how to even figure out your value, because sometimes it's the people around you that actually notice what you carry more than you yourself. So a lot of times it's friends that tell me, oh, do you know that you have this thing about you? And I go later on to think about it and go like, oh, that's actually like a good strength that I have. So today I would want you to do one practical thing of writing down three core strengths and impact moments that you've had. Write it down. That's where your journey begins. You can ask your colleagues, your family members, your friends, ask them what they admire about you, about your leadership, about your personality. Then you now create a short value statement with that. So for instance, it could be, oh, I bring clarity, I bring empathy or courage to every room that I walk into. So just start with that, first of all. Excuse me. Then the second is to tell your story. For instance, the other day I was with a lady and she just told me a bit about her life story. She just mentioned, oh, um, I I don't want to go into details, but she just told me what she had been through and how she was hanging in there and what she's been doing. And I went back home actually encouraged by that story. So For me, that's visibility, because visibility is not about the number of people. Like, oh, I have 2,000 followers. But if you're not making an impact in all their lives, you're not doing, it's not, that's not it. But if there's just one person you can talk to and connect with and tell your story and its impact on them, then you've actually made an impact. So she probably, I had to tell her the next day. I told her that, do you know, you actually made an impact in my life by sharing your story last time. So stories actually connect better than credentials. If I come to you and I'm coming on and with the whole, oh, this, I studied this, I studied that, and then now I now did this, you won't really relate with me very well. You go like, okay, let's say you're someone that doesn't have those qualifications, you go like, okay, so I don't think both of us should be talking then, because we're not on the same page. You have a different qualification, you have a different line of things that you're doing. But if I come in the line of my story, oh, when I was in this company, this was how I succeeded in climbing to this stage, or this is what I did, or it was difficult for me to get a promotion, and this is what I did. Practical stories, you would learn from it and go like, oh, let's say you're now somebody, just coincidentally you're someone that is struggling to get ahead at work. You just go like, okay, maybe I should do this. You see, I've added value by my story. So for you today, I will say, identify one moment and share it either online or with someone. Focus on the lesson you learned. Don't focus on perfection. Like we talked about it last time, that is not about being perfect. Your story is actually a bridge between where you were and where you are right now. So imagine if you can put that bridge for someone and they don't have to go through all you went through. Let's say it took you 10 years and you learned a lot in the 10 years, that you can actually impact into someone and it won't have to take them 10 years to get to where you are right now. You see, you've added value to their lives. And that's what visibility is all about. So, step three, speak up strategically. Don't just join anything, don't just pick up anyhow. Just be strategic about where you're going to start with. Like, you can go, like, okay, I'm going to start volunteering to present at work. Then you start working on yourself and start that. You can join panels, you can join podcasts, you can even decide that you're going to sign up to some international organizations that have open memberships and start, networking through that. So, and also, your social media is not just for you to be online and you're laughing, and it's good to laugh, but also try and make an impact through it. Post something. It mustn't be just about leadership, but like I said, choose a part. Like, is it empathy, courage, or what's that story? What's the story behind it? Because we all have unique stories. Post it, even if it's once a week. Post something that you know that would help someone improve in their lives. So, and visibility is actually built in consistency. Like, how consistent are you in what you're doing? That's what helps you to grow visibly. Because if you can't post today and nobody sees you like 6 months straight up, you're not posting anything. Then after 6 months, you show up and say, oh, this is, just post one thing and you're off. Remember in the first, I think when we just started this meeting, I mentioned that it creates opportunities for you. So if you're not stable, how do you get those opportunities? So step four is to build meaningful networks. Like I said, you can join international organizations that have open membership. You can attend one leadership event. It mustn't be monthly because I know life can be busy. I'll schedule 15 minutes coffee chats with people, just meet up, talk. If you're not talking, you can't really improve that skill of speaking. Is when you continue speaking that you keep building it up. Then you have to learn to also collaborate with people. If you notice that someone is working on a project that is of interest to you, you can go like, okay, I like what you're doing. Like, for instance, you can say, I admire your work. And I'd love to learn how you navigate visibility in your field. Then you collaborate with the person and work with them on that. Like there's a lecturer that I know. The fact that I've been able to speak at MIT was because I tried to always be close to her, to know, to go like, oh, what are you working on? I admire this about you. How can we do this? How can we do that? And that was why she involved me to that extent of allowing me to, of talking to them at MIT to invite me. So you need to collaborate. Then step 5 is advocate for yourself and for others. This is something you should do all the time. This is what your message might not always consist of just your story. It could also be an avenue for you to amplify other people's work. You help others. When you help others to be seen, your light also shines. So it's not like yours is dimming by making other people look better. So align your visibility with your purpose, your value, like I said before. How just think about what do I stand for? Don't Not just what's going on now, what's trending. Oh, let me go online. If I find the trend, then I want to talk about the trend. No. Think about what do I stand for? When you now think about what you stand for, you now know, okay, if this is what I stand for, then how does it matter? That's when you can now research, like, okay, how is this going to matter in the society that we are in right now? Let's say, for instance, I'm just going to use this as an example. A single mother with children, you navigated through the corporate ladders and everything, you became a leader, and it wasn't easy. So, what do you stand for? Like, are you standing for women trying, like, are you going to encourage women? Like, see, I've been there, I've done that, this is the steps that I took. And, that's when you use your story, what you stand for, like not giving up. You just have to encourage people, like come out there, be and encourage equity, because you're also talking about the corporate people giving room for women to grow. You get, so it's from your story that you now look at what is happening around in society, then you match it up, and that's is what puts you out there. So we're going to reflect, like I always do. Every episode, I beg people write down in their journal. So maybe next meeting, in case you did come with your journal, you try and write down 3 steps that you're going to take in the next 90 days, because we're going to be practical. We're trying to be practical. It's not just for us to sit down and just hear, oh, inspirational pill. It's I'm doing this with hopes that all of us, because including me, I'm talking to myself when I'm here, all of us will grow. You get, so would we need to take the practical steps that we are talking about here. So you write down 3 steps you're going to take this next 90 days. What's your visibility goal? For instance, you can say, okay, I'm going to share a story on social media, I'm going to volunteer at a presentation, or I'm going to start networking with someone that I really admire what they stand for. I'm going to start collaborating. So you need to start working on that from now, from today, and give yourself like a 90-day plan. So I'll leave this with you. The day you stop shrinking, you will realize that the world has been waiting to meet the real you. So call to action this week. So this week has almost ended. So let me say next week, speak once, share once, and shine once. And tell yourself, I'm not hiding anymore. I am visible, I am valued, and I am ready to lead. Thank you.
Thank you.